we're going to talk lug nuts. Welcome to this edition of Easy Street Garage. Glad to have you guys back. We are in the shop right now and we're going to install some titanium lug nuts. That's right. We have been running the Gorilla Nut lug nut up until today. And the reason for the Gorilla Nut lug nut was, first of all, we wanted a locking nut lug nut, which quite frankly isn't necessary for Easy Street Garage Shelby GT350. This Shelby is either usually in the studio here or it's on the road, and when it is on the road it spends most of the, unless we're driving it, it spends the night in the Easy Street Garage car hauler. And so I figured it's kind of safe. What I want to do is I also want to point out, and I'm going to show you some images of what the weights come out to be on these lug nuts. Okay? So this lug nut, which is the standard lug nut, weighs on the entire car, that's all four corners, you're talking about 2.32 pounds. Okay? So this lug nut is actually a lug nut with a, it's got basically a cap over it, just to give it a better appearance, right? The problem is that oftentimes this faux cap will tend to loosen up on the lug nut and cause some problems for a lot of people. So early on we got rid of these things and we went again to the Gorilla Nut. I went to the Gorilla Nut because it's a solid cast component, right? And it is chrome, it's got a chrome finish on it. I think they look really good. There's a negative to going to a nut like this, and that is these carry weight, all right? So when you look at all four corners of Easy Street Garage Shelby, I added like 3.288 pounds of lug nuts. Okay, 3 pounds of lug nuts. Now, is that a lot? Well, if you're racing, if you're tracking a car, it is. And so, therefore, that was an issue for me. The other piece of the puzzle was, and I like the way they looked on my signature wheels. I wanted, if I'm going all straight up with signature, I'm going to the top. I'm high-end signature wheels. I want to go high-end lug nuts, and I wanted a race-style lug nut, and I wanted to lower my unsprung weight, okay? And so by going to Terrence's lug nuts, I actually eliminated 2 pounds. My estimation is 2 pounds. Every little ounce on a race car matters, okay? And I don't want to be trivial in saying that, guys. It really does matter, all right? Now, can I calculate extreme performance gains out of 2 pounds? Not me. I can't. However, it makes me feel good that I did it. And I also think it looks really good. Right now, on this Shelby GT350, we eliminated about 35 pounds with the back seat delete. We eliminated almost 40 pounds on the wheels. So all four corners total compared to the OE wheel going to signature are about 40 pounds. And then also the exhaust system that we changed out, went to the MRT exhaust. We eliminated a lot of weight from the mufflers to the resonators. Again, another 40 pounds probably out of the exhaust, gone. So all of that unsprung weight adds up. And in this car right now, I've dumped about 100 pounds of unsprung weight. And I can tell this car drives much better than it did OE out of the box. And it has no tune, no other performance engine mods to it. So when Terrence ships you these lug nuts, he has an amazing set of instructions that he sends, okay? And I've been reading through those. A couple things that are important to think about, guys, when you're going to a titanium lug nut is you've got to have an anti-seize, or if you would, a fastener assembly lube to go on to these studs. I've already done that. I'm going to show it to you here in a moment. I have also applied the same lube to the seat of the lug nut. We're going to let you take a look at that up close as well. As this gnarly tool is not the product to use when you're applying a titanium lug nut. We're going to just run them down finger tight, and then I'm going to snug them just a tiny bit. I'm going to put the car on the ground. I'll tighten them up a little bit then from there, and then what I'm going to do based on the lube I'm using is I'm going to torque these lugs down to, these lug nuts down to 130 to 140 pound-feet of torque, okay? After that, I'm going to go put a little heat to this car, and I'm going to go drive it around. I'm going to bring it back here to the studio here at Easy Street Garage, and then I'm going to check my torque just to make sure everything is. I put this rag up on here to protect the wheel as I put the wheel on the car. I don't want to scratch it. Don't want to hit the wheel on the front rotor or the brake caliper. So that is the reason for this. I love the space, the gap I have on my signature wheels, because I can reach up in here and pull that out, and I'm good to go. I'm not forgetting, I'm not leaving this up here. I went ahead and ran each one of these studs on each of the, or each lug nut on each stud. I'll get this right. And I did that just basically because I just felt good about doing it, and I also wanted to make sure you know, that each one of these lug nuts threaded onto the stud. So, you know, you want to make sure you don't cross thread these things because they have a little bit of a coating on them. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and run them on there, run them back off the first time, and you know that they fit well. The fitment is good. The other thing I did is I applied a light coating of the anti-seize on the seat of the nut. The reason I did this, again, is the two dissimilar metals coming in contact. I wanted to make sure that, you know, I did a good job on getting this thing lubed up and applying it to the car. So, you know, you can't apply too much, but you can apply too little. Go ahead and remove each of these studs now off. I went with the R spec, and if you're interested in the R spec, the difference between that is the length of the stud, or golly, I'll get it right, guys, the nut. All right, this is a longer nut for the front, and I'm going to show you why. Here's my wheel. When the nut is in the wheel, you can see that you can see the stud here. Golly, I'll get it again. You'll see the nut at the end of the wheel. The problem was with the OE setup that I had, that nut was way in here, and it just looked awkward front to back where you didn't see a lug nut. Sorry about the lighting. However, the wheel is a little bit more deep dish in the front on this OE configuration, and therefore you see that, man, it's just weird. You don't see any lug nuts. I just don't like that look. There you see it. The lug nuts are on, and I'll tell you, all I've done is just snug them up, all right? I haven't put any torque on them. So my first shot at this, they are on. I'm gonna torque these things down to about 130 pound-feet of torque, then I'm gonna take them to 140. Now you can see the back extend out further. It just, man, it just looks weird. So I'm gonna show you what the titanium lug nuts look like now on the install of the back, how they almost kind of mirror or match what the front looks like. Look. All right, we are in the back, and we've already applied our anti-seize to the studs. The next event we're going to be heading down to is in October. We are going to Pigeon Forge, or if you would, Sevierville, and we are going to be attending the Second Harvest Food Bank fundraiser there that Steve Spangler puts on, the Fall Harvest Festival. and I can't wait to get there. Guys, there you see it. I have not torqued the back yet. I'm gonna do that here as soon as I put the camera down. They are snugged up. They look absolutely amazing. That is the back. That looks real, guys. You don't see a whole lot of chrome. You just see that good looking titanium lug nut in there. And then of course, coming to the front, there is the front, and I think the front now looks pretty much even with what the back looks like. You can at least see some lug nuts. Tuning in to this episode. By the way, if you like the content, give us a thumbs up. Toggle that bell because we've got some instant notification available for you on some upcoming mods to that trailer back there, the car hauler here at Easy Street Garage. And by the way, subscribe. We need the subscribership. That's what keeps us alive. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And until the next episode of Easy Street Garage, we are, out.